Left tackle has been a position of worry for the Minnesota Fighting Vikings for the better part of a decade. Matt Khalil, number 4 overall, 2012, the best left tackle prospect since Anthony Munoz, USC fight on, and then it turns out, oh yeah, he doesn't love football. Great. And then they went to TJ Clemmings. Awesome. Cool. The Vikings have had a blind spot on the blind side for a while. Then 2017, in comes in Riley Reiff as like the third or fourth free agent option to throw a ton of money at him. And fans are like, okay. Okay, but the corn-fed Iowa product coming over from the Lions has been pretty solid. He's been exactly as advertised. Solid, not flashy, generally gets the job done, team captain. He's sort of like a ham and Swiss sandwich. Not even heated up, not even toasted. Just like a cold ham and cheese sandwich. Like, yeah, it'll do. It'll do. It's not great. It'll do. It's better than other options for sure. And then this offseason, the Vikings and Riley Reiff, they had a bit of a kerfuffle. So he was turning 32 in December, head into the fourth year of his 5-year deal that he signed with the Vikings in free agency. He was due a $10.9 million base salary, none of it guaranteed, and he was given an ultimatum. The Vikings were like, here's the old tomato. Take a pay cut or get cut, and then we'll move Brian O'Neill to left tackle, which I didn't buy for a second, but, the bluff worked. And remember, there was a weird 24 hours during training camp where he was away from the team. His agent was making calls, shopping around. I was like, hey, can you do better than $5.9 million? And then teams were like, nope. I was like, oh, okay. And the Vikings had a lot of leverage in that spot because it was right before the season started. You'd have to pass COVID protocols, get into another camp, start a brand new system, and also get paid. Probably wasn't going to happen. So the Vikings had leverage and they used it. They got a $5 million pay cut out of Riley Reiff, down to a $5.9 million base salary. Now, $2 million of it, he was able to get back in incentives. One was one he hit playing 86% of the Viking snaps. The other playing 93% and change of the Viking snaps. He would have hit, except for the COVID, knocked him out of the Week 17 game against his old team, the Lions. Now, the Vikings should definitely just give it to him, but I don't know. Yeah, the business is weird, but yeah, 100% he should get that last bonus because he would have hit it, except for the Rona and whatnot. But Reiff, frankly, played phenomenal this year for Riley Reiff. Now, he had his best season as a Viking, and he was sublime in pass blocking. He only allowed 21 pressures and only one sack this year, and also only had one penalty, down from the 9 that he had in 2019. Also, 74.9 PFF pass blocking grade, was 12th in the NFL among left tackles, and frankly, it should have been higher, even though, yes, to a degree, were all of his snaps picture perfect and pretty? No. Were the Vikings a run-first team? Is that why his pressures and sack numbers are potentially down because the Vikings weren't passing the ball as much? Sure. But, I mean, just the eyeball test. Riley Reiff was a smooth operator out there and the best that I've ever seen him in purple. And even though we've been a big, hey, Ezra is a left tackle, playing a left tackle, zealot for a long time, still believe that. If this is the Riley Reiff that we get going forward, if the 2020 snapshot version of Riley Reiff is that guy for the next couple of years, I think he should stay a while, and rightfully so. So the question is, what's going to happen this offseason? So he's 32 years old, just turned 32 in December. He's coming off a great season, but also is due an $11.65 million 2021 base salary, none of that guaranteed. So they're in a very similar situation to last offseason. Also, he has a $13.95 million cap hit with only $2.2 million dead. And if the Vikings do want to be players in free agency, maybe they do go after a Thuney or a Leonard Williams or cornerback TBD. That is one spot where they can find money in the banana stand. But the leverage that they had in training camp in 2020 isn't the same as now. Just isn't. So you have a full off season before true free agency, as opposed to a week before the season, and also you have a great season of tape. I mean, Riley Reiff looked phenomenal, and teams will notice that. So the question is, what will the Vikings do? Will they keep him? Will they cut him? Will they just trade him? Right. So he's certainly viable. Zimmer wants continuity. He likes what he saw from the offense. Riley Reiff was a big part of that. Plus, if Dennison stays in place, I think Riley Reiff will stay here. But back at the full freight at $11.65 million, Probably not. And also, I think Reiff has earned like a small 1 to 2 year extension where it not necessarily tax on guaranteed money on the back end, but it guarantees his 2021 salary potentially at a lower number, so they can structure it where it actually lowers his cap liability this year. Say it brings it down a couple million, but that is guaranteed, and then he has some fluff on the back end as well. And even though it would potentially delay the Ezra at left tackle dynasty, I would be okay, especially since the Vikings do enter 2021 in win now mode. Now, you could always cut him for sure. $11.65 million saved on the cap today. Then you'd have Ezra Cleveland at left tackle, but then it would just open up another hole on the offensive line, both guard spots, right? So you are taking away one of the better offensive linemen from this season. Yeah. Trade. Now, trade is intriguing, but also I don't think that you would get the value that you would need to move him. And given that he only has 1 year left on his deal, and plus his age could diminish his value. And also, you're definitely not getting a first. I mean, a late round second, maybe, but also I think it would have to depend on what's going on in the draft. So I think you'd have to actually wait until the draft gets here and say a team that is in the market for some left tackle help, maybe they feel like they're a step away. Just one little guy, but the draft board doesn't go their way. Like, they don't land a Darisaw, they certainly don't land Penny Sewell, they don't land Slater, etc. And then maybe they could turn to Riley Reiff, similar to the trade market with Anthony Harris, where the Giants and the Browns were in last year, but then they got McKinney and Delpit respectively at the top in the second round. They're like, oh yeah, Anthony Harris, deuces. Nah. But so if I had to bet, I do think that Riley Reiff is back. I think he's likely back with a small extension, but lowering his 2021 cap hit. And the question is, how long can he play? Well, Andrew Whitworth just got back from IR. He's going to play for the Rams this weekend. And he says he wants to play next year, even though he's going to be 40. Now, even though he's still one of the best in the NFL, I consider him an outlier. Yeah, so I don't think Riley Reiff's going to play till he's 40. But also, Riley Reiff 100% could kick into left guard. He could. Like, he plays with enough leverage to hold up inside. He could go the route of a Jason Peters, who kicked inside, as well as Roger Saffold. I mean, remember, Roger Saffold, now with the Titans, formerly the Rams, he was a high draft pick to play left tackle. And then they're like, you play guard. And he was good at it. I think Reiff could have a similar transition and, frankly, could extend his career for an extra couple years. But I do think he, at minimum, has 2 to 3 years left at a decent level. And the Vikings have been looking for decent forever. So, but props to the pride of Parkston, South Dakota. Phenomenal year this season. Hopefully going to run back with him in 2021. But overall, your thoughts, Riley Reiff? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull. Production value.